Copy list of files. I have a list of files separated by spaces in a file, list.txt. I'd like to copy them to a new folder. I tried to do, but it did not work. How would you do this? Update. Thank you for all your very interesting answers. I did not ask for that much smile. After having tried the solution above a second time, it seems that CP printed the usage help because the folder new_folder did not exist yet. Sorry, it seems to be a stupid mistake. When I create the folder before, it works. However, I have learnt much from all your answers and solutions. Thank you for the time you take to write them.
Try using zargs. Update. I did this on OS X, which has a different version than new/Linux versions. The zargs which comes from new findutils doesn't have J, but it has I, which is similar, as Dennis Williamson pointed out in a comment. The OS X version of zargs has both I and J, which have slightly different behaviors. Either will work for this original question.
No need for cat at all. Or using long options. Here are some shell versions. Note that some variables are unquoted or for loops are used specifically because the op specified that the file names are space delimited. Some of these techniques won't work for file name per line input in which file names contain white space. Bash. Or sh or bash. Or
I had an embarrassingly roundabout answer here earlier, but Dennis's answer reminded me that I missed the most basic thing. So, I deleted my original answer. But since nobody has said this very basic thing, I think it's worth putting it here. The original question is: I have a text file with a list of space-separated names of files. How can I copy those to one target directory? At first this might seem tricky or complicated, because you think you have to somehow extract the items from the file in a specific way. However, when the shell processes a command line, the first thing it does is separate the argument list into tokens, and here's the bit nobody has said outright: spaces separate tokens. New lines also separate tokens, which is why Doug Harris's test with a new line separated list had the same result. That is, the shell expects and can already handle a space separated list. So all you need to do here is put the space-separated list that you already have into the right place in your command. Your command is some variation on this. The only wrinkle is that you want to get the list of files run through hash from your text file. As Dennis points out in his comment, your original attempt, catlist.new_folder, should have worked already. Why? Because the internal command, catlist.txt, is processed first by the shell and expands into file1, file2, file3, ... file hash, which is exactly what the shell expects and wants at that part of the command. If it didn't work, then either 1. You had a typo, or 2. Your file names were somehow strange, they had spaces or other unusual characters. The reason that all Dennis's answers work is simply that they provide the necessary list of files for CP to work on, placing that list where it belongs in the entire command. Again, the command itself is this in structure. It's easy to see how this all comes together in this version. $, causes the shell to run the command inside the parentheses and then substitute its output at that point in the larger line. Then the shell runs the line as a whole. By the way, $, is a more modern version of what you were already doing with backticks. Next, and LT, is a file redirection operator. It tells the shell to dump the contents of list.txt to standard input. Since the $bit gets processed first, here's what happens in stages. CP $, and LT, list.txt, new underscore folder, hash split line into 3 tokens column CP, $, and LT, list.txt, new underscore folder. CP file 1 file 2 file 3 ... file hash new underscore folder, hash substitute result of $, and LT, list.txt, into the larger command. Obviously step 2, simply the normal CP command you wanted. I realize that I'm beating this, perhaps very dead horse a lot, but I think it's worth doing. Understanding exactly how the shell processes a command can help you to write it better and simplify it a lot. It will also show you where problems are likely to be hiding. In this case, for example, my first question to you should have been about funny file names or a possible typo. No acrobatics were necessary.
In addition to the answer from Dennis Williamson, if you have a file with comments and want to use zargs, exclude with lines beginning with hash using grep.
Unix,